Now, this is the mindset shift that needs to be obtained to be able to move into 2026 and create massive levels of success in a creative field. Because the age of the content creator in the creative space is all but dead at this point because people unintentionally converted over to just content creators or just creatives. But when you partner those two things and you do it with intent, and you do it with the 5 pillars of domination when it comes to a creative content creator, all of a sudden you really start to build massive levels of momentum in your growth, and you don't have to worry about the followers or about the engagement as much, because to do it as a provider of a product that requires you to be one-to-one, which means you are working with one individual in person in front of you. All right, what's going on, guys? I wanted to cut in on this video really quick to extend the offer for you to come in and work with the Force of Focus in a much more community-based level. Now, all of the information that I provide here is extremely valuable and important for you to know about the industry that you're in, but being able to work in a room full of artists who are all not only applying the systems, but keeping each other accountable changes the entire trajectory of your success and of your scalability. So if this is something you're interested in, we're going to attach the link down below in the description. Let us know if you have any questions. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, but make sure that you are willing to roll the dice. You have to be able to get up and get out. You have to be able to play the game, not just ride the bench. And this is exactly where you can do that. It's not your run-of-the-mill program. This is community approach. This is how we work together and we navigate the sea of uncertainty in this creative career path. I cannot wait to see you in there with us. Then you yourself will learn how to dominate those conversations, dominate the attention that's actually going to convert, and dominate the authenticity that your brand will represent. Now, the difference between a content creator and a creative creator is where your reach needs to land. So if you are just a content creator, you have the world at your fingertips. It's actually a lot more daunting unless you know your niche, you know exactly what it is people are looking for, and you can consistently stay the course there. But it gives you the opportunity of pivots more frequently until you land where you need to. Where when you are a creative creator for a personal business, you need to be more consistent. The nice part about this is you can play the long game and you can build massive levels of success. The reason most creatives who own a brick and mortar business fail, who have put all of their eggs in the social media basket, is because they have pivoted too frequently. That doesn't perform when you're trying to build a know, like, and trust factor through your social media as a tool to funnel them into a brick and mortar business so that you can provide them with something of significance and of value that they can then have. The know, like, and trust factor is going to be the biggest aspect. So you need to put your active audience first. If you own a brick and mortar, your active audience can be smaller, which means it's a lot easier to navigate and it's a lot easier to scale and grow because you can get paid so much more frequently on a one-to-one service than you can based on the way content creators are paid based on their social media reach. Obviously, the numbers look a lot better as a social media content creator, but the revenue generated is so much more valuable as a brick and mortar creative creator. But you still need to know how to create on social media as a tool. You need to know what is on brand. You need to know how to be able to market to the buyer and understand the buyer psychology that is going to build that know, like, and trust factor. And those are the things that we really focus on in the Force of Focus and on Flagship and all the different options that we have on this end. Now, if you truly want to be able to learn how to do these things, we have super accessible programs and communities that you can come into and learn all of these valuable skills. But I'm just going to tell you them now because I don't really care about money that much. What I care about is people's growth. What I care about is creating massive levels of impact, not only for the longevity of the creative careers that I'm in, but for the longevity of people being able to create magic in their lives. So if you really want to change your life in 2026, despite the economy, despite people's opinions, despite what social media wants to tell you, you just need to be able to understand the 5 key pillars of your domination when it comes to creating your brand. That's legacy, authenticity, influence, not being an influencer, but true influence, having standards, and your ecosystem. Now, when it comes to legacy, that is long term. You have to understand that you cannot pivot super frequently and create a legacy from that. You need to know who it is you are genuinely inside, have gone through the personal development process so that you know what is representative of you and what is going to go against the grain and take away from that genuine person that you have become. When it comes to your authority, that's just sifting through all of the mess, getting rid of all of it, and having authority in the fact that people have that know, like, and trust factor. You have to ensure the fact that people come to you because you know you have built a foundation on that trust and that they believe in you as their product provider. The authority is what is going to help you convert your already present clients into your salespeople, into your out boots on the ground marketing funnel. Then you go into having true influence. How can you influence people by the actions you take and the words that you speak without them assuming that you're just some content creator, that you're just some social media influencer who's just regurgitating a bunch of noise and a bunch of nonsense? If you run a brick and mortar business, your influence and your authority are going to be your pathway to building something massive, long term. And the game has to be long term. But then we have to go into our standards. The only way to truly create quality influence and having authority is to have these standards that you live by. You know, a lot of people on social media, a lot of people in society have these unrealistic expectations of everything. But their own personal standards are so low that they inevitably get nowhere. And this is where it becomes the biggest problem. If you can replace all of your external expectations with all personal standards to be able to genuinely, sincerely, and excitedly grow in all avenues, holy shit, the person that you can become just inside is insane, let alone the person that you can become in the eyes of your consumer, in the eyes of your audience, in the eyes of your clients, your family, everyone. And that's what really matters. I mean, reality is still a thing. And if you aren't building a legacy pathway, if you are not building authority and true influence through the standards that you hold, you are still going to just be the cartoon character online. And the one thing that I know to be true, just based on my own clientele funnels, is there's a massive unplug on social media now of quality consumers because they are all sick of just opening their phones, seeing nothing but content creators, nothing but cartoon characters, nothing but marketing strategies, and the next tips and the next hacks that you can utilize to be able to become social media rich. That shit doesn't perform. The only people who are still paying attention to that stuff are the clients that you are sick of working with, because they don't have the money, because they don't have their own standards. So all they do is doom scroll social media. So you are actively targeting the wrong audience when you are not being genuine, authentic, and consistent. So that will not build your legacy. And lastly is the ecosystem. You have to build systems and products that lead to the outcome that will build the life that you wish to lead. Now, the nice part about all of this is going to be your brand domination. If you have the ecosystem, you know what kind of products can be underneath of the umbrella of your brand. If you know the standards that you must keep that are going to represent that brand that you are and that your clients love to associate with, they love the culture, they love the experience, they love the environment. If you build true influence, where you can actually create impact without the purchase of a product, but people just like to be around you or just like to listen to who it is you are or watch what it is you create. If you have authority because you know you've done it for a long enough duration of time that you've built that know, like, and trust factor. And lastly, if you know the legacy you wish to build and that is your reason why, and that keeps you on course the entire time, 2026 will change the trajectory of your life. You will no longer worry about where the next clients are going to come from. You will no longer worry about social media algorithms and how big your follower count is or the economy. You will be working with the right ones. You won't need to sit there and scramble and just stress about all these things because it does become a byproduct. All right, I am sincere proof of concept that if you do these 5 things, and these are your key pillars to the way that you present yourself and the way that you build your brand, opportunities just show up. Because the one thing that is lacking in society is trust. And if you are not building trust in your local community, then you are only going to burn your trust to the ground when you're pivoting to appease to the social media nonsense. So you have to go through an intervention of your beliefs of the value of social media. Social media is a tool, yes, without a doubt. But it is not your business platform if you own a brick and mortar or if you can service your clients on a one-to-one basis. Those people are looking for something insanely different than the recent trend that you have mimicked. So if you honestly want to be able to apply these things to your life, all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is drop me a comment. All you have to do is just figure out what it is you want. What is your ideal legacy? And we can help you walk through every other step. We can keep the course. We can keep the accountability. We can keep your feet to the fucking fire. But first, you need to make the real decision that you want to change, that you are willing to change, and that you are willing to do what it takes to be able to change. Once you get to this point, let's fucking get to work, all right? Because the fight against mediocrity has begun. And you have to see your way out of it because the uncertainty is not going to produce. You have to create confidence. You need that legacy dream. You need that authority in your community. You need to be a person of influence that they can trust. You need to know that your standards are consistently moving that dial. And you need to believe in everything that you do. If any of this resonated with you, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share with friends, and come join our Skool community because we have 4 members of leadership who will walk you through everything with marketing, branding, sales structure and strategy, content creation that actually speaks to the market you wish to serve, financial literacy, financial psychology, even accountability calls where we all set our marker and we keep you accountable to getting there. I desperately want to see people succeed. I desperately want to surround myself with winners. So come join the Skool community, but don't hesitate to shoot me a message. Let's have a conversation.